social media it's causing a tremendous amount of issues for companies. People are posting, and I think what gets me about them is oftentimes somebody in a public position, public facing, whether it's on a nonprofit board or it's a principal at a school or a superintendent or an executive in a company. Suddenly you got someone in some position that matters, and they're posting potentially some ugly stuff. And when you look at it, they've been doing it for a while. It wasn't a secret, and maybe it wasn't in their family Facebook post, right? It was on some other channel that they were doing it, some other platform they were doing it that no one looked at. So that you count on someone just to do it, just hey, take a quick look, and they go look them up on Facebook because they find what's easy to find. But oftentimes, it's not there that this matters. So, I mean, did you just think back over the last 5 years of how many major news stories, and for every major news story that hits national news about somebody, there's 1,000 embarrassing stories of someone who posted embarrassed a company that did make the news but created an issue. When you got stores being shut down, companies being shut down over what somebody posted online. And so in the hiring process, it kind of makes sense that social media is included in your scheme of vetting people. Maybe not for every single person, because it's a deep, complex process that does cost money. So, but it would make total sense to screen specific people within specific organizations. And I mentioned those a minute ago. It's, maybe it's, hey, at this level and above, we screen social media. We do executive level, someone who might be talking or doing things over the top of a lot of people in a leadership position, where some of the things they said would impact the well-being of a lot of people, or could be public facing, could represent a nonprofit, to the public, and suddenly, they've drugged the nonprofit's name into something that they don't want to be associated with because of some post. Oftentimes these posts aren't even, the person thinks that the person making them thinks because they changed their name or didn't use their picture or profile, they think it's anonymous. And so they say things that aren't great and that are embarrassing, and could be embarrassing for any brand, any company, anyone associated. And they say them, and they think they're saying them in the cloak of, no one knows, but they're posting it publicly. And so what they don't know is, and what screening, social media screening can do, is it can find those associated handles that aren't so obvious, right? And suddenly you have someone who thought they were posting, so they thought they were safe. Maybe you had someone in HR kind of glance at their Facebook account to make sure it wasn't crazy, or their Twitter, but they saw the Twitter that they want you to see, not the one where they say everything that reflects maybe something that you wouldn't be proud of with your brand. So that's the reason social media screening is important, and it starts with picking and selecting who. And I'm not suggesting everyone, but I am suggesting that social media screen become a part of every company's screening strategy at a certain level. I think it makes total sense. Like, the worst time to find out that someone's got really ugly social media is after you've hired them. You want to talk about what's in a social media screen?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So this is the result of a social media screen, right? And so I thought I would share this. It's pretty interesting. They show it to you on screen. I'll just look at it here. But this sample's on this individual, and it tells you just an abstract of what happened in this particular screen. There was a social media presence. Here's an abstract. There's a social media presence. They describe the social media presence. There's a content analysis, what that content's like. A little bit of a digital footprint analysis. But it shows you how many profiles, and then how many web and news stories or times they were listed in the news or in a Google search of their name. And then it's, in this particular case, it's got 25 flagged behaviors. And so the next what they do is when they go out and they find these things, they go out and find these handles that you have. It's all done through electronic connection, and then they put together identifiers. And so they show you right here in the report what identifiers were used to attach them to these posts to this particular person, right? So you know what it is. And in this particular case, I think there's 6 found, right? I highly doubt most recruiters, most HR teams, or whatever, hiring manager are going and looking for 6 different, social media handles. They certainly don't know even which ones to do. And to people who are posting this, oftentimes they don't understand that just the change of their handle doesn't make it anonymous. It could be associated in a lot of different ways. And so, here's a word cloud on the types of words that are used a lot in the things that they do. But it's looking at every like, every post, every share, every comment, and it's analyzing it for as far back as they can get to, right? And then, it puts it in here, and then we just disparaging remarks, drug images, drug alcohol content, gory or violence content, keywords that you may want to be looking for. They could be actually saying something about your company. If they said something negative about your company, you'd want to know that. You might have in your particular screens, all right? And any nudity, any political kind of overtness, or government, anything that's prejudice, profanity that they've used, rude gestures or symbols, any comments around self-harm, anything that's suggestive threats, weapons images. It takes all of these. It doesn't mean they're all bad. It's just seeing them and saying, hey, you should look at this. This is what it is, and it'll summarize it and take a look at it. So it's not a suggestion that just because you did any of these things, that it was wrong. It's flagging them for you to review, which is what you want to be able to do, right? And then it goes through, gives you, your behavior classifications. Here, it shows you what they are, and then it goes through and shows you the post, right? And, in this particular one, here's, 2 guys fighting on the street, right? And so how these work is the company sets up their screening system and gets to identify their behavioral classifications, what matters to them, right? So they may be looking for things that are that seem racist or discriminatory, judgmental, maybe, vile, violent language or things like that would indicate that this person, this would potentially be offensive if people knew that this executive was acting or saying these things, or this superintendent or this, principal or whoever it is, was saying this stuff after they represented, a particular company. So I think that's probably, so the company, as I was explaining, the company gets to go in and kind of set the standards. So it's not just done. They have all these little choices to make, keywords they're looking for, things they can suppress, things they can say they don't want to see, that type of thing. And they get to see it. So a lot of flexibility in how it's set up and how it's used. Can just be a part of a background check order, just as another component. It's still, you get your criminal background check or your criminal records background check, maybe your verifications, references, and then in some cases, maybe you add the social media screen, depending on the role. And then, it's again, a judgment call on whether that's if they posted something that would get them fired after they were hired, then you should be looking for those same posts that would have gotten them fired. You should have looked in advance.
Right.
Here's the tool to help you find it.
Yeah, and like you said before, it's not about like digging or like trying to find dirt on them. It's about reviewing what's already public, because public posts not only reflect judgment but professionalism as well, which matters most when you're hiring people.
Yeah, well, that's a great point, right? This isn't a tool to dig to try to find hidden information. Right? What someone says privately, okay, right? But this is all of these screening tools. The screening tech that we utilize for social media uses public posts, This is what someone's saying in a public forum,
Right.
out loud, that anyone can hear. And that is uniquely different than digging on someone, trying to find something in some hidden box that they have that was supposed to be, for 3 people, right? Or for a small group or something like that. And sometimes that would matter, but that's not what we're looking for, because they make it available for you to use in this forum like this because they're posting it public, right? And that should, that's something that we should, talk about. The social media screening has been around for a long time, maybe 10 years. I remember when I first saw it kind of bubble up, and there was a lot of questions on its legality, and it's had a lot of litmus tests done and checked. But there are 2 hurdles that need to happen, right? And that is, first, it needs to be a public post, right? That person can't say that was private information that you dug up on me. It's public information because they were saying it out loud, right?
Correct.
In a public place. So that's 1. And 2, they're going to acknowledge, or they're going to give you an authorization for it. Now, they don't have to give you their handles in the way that we do screening. We take their information and we go find them, right? Because we're finding the public ones. So we're not really even asking the person, hey, what's your Twitter handle? What's your Facebook? Any of that? We're literally going and discovering them. One of the things that strikes me when I think about social media screening, it's certainly wrecked more careers in the last 5 years, 10 years than probably some criminal act has. It seems to be accelerating and getting worse, which is one of the reasons companies should be evaluating the tool right now and starting to implement it in their screening systems, at least at some level, right? Still not advocating for everyone at this point, but certainly at some level. And it's that, when they give you a resume, you're basically seeing what they say about themselves.
Right.
Right. But when you go and look at their social media post, you're seeing their behavior.
Right. And a lot of times,
which is not, without the filter.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just going to say, like, a lot of times, people lie on their resumes all the time too.
So they don't tell the truth there. So you're getting some semblance of who they are through some filter that they want to try to control. And then, the social media screen is just so insightful on potentially finding, what their actual behavior might be, and how it might impact your culture, your brand, however it might be. So, I like that. I like that part. Let's see. Yeah. So there's another perspective here, and that is what someone writes in public and what they're willing to do. I know this probably gets you too. It's, you see someone write something and they're a professional. This isn't a kid who hasn't learned better. They're a professional and they write something, and it's so boneheaded, and it is a reflection of their professionalism and their judgment. If they can't control their professionalism and their judgment and do things, and you see a history of that, you can't think that they're going to act professional and have good judgment after you hire them and they potentially represent your business, your brand, your company, your school, whatever it is. It certainly would be something you'd want to have a talk with them about. And it doesn't mean you can't hire them. I recommend this for everyone. No matter what you do, no matter what information you see in a criminal background check, in a social media background check, in whatever it is, it should lead to a conversation with the individual. If you go have a talk with them and you ask them, hey, what you see could have been posted 2-3 years ago, right? You're seeing it and it's shocking, and you could ask them what's up. And so now it's giving you the information to have a conversation, and you can have a conversation with them. And what you may hear is, I was really an idiot at the time. I was in a bad place. This happened, that happened. Here's what I've done since then to kind of reframe and change. And if you notice, I haven't posted like that. And you may hear, I forgot about them, whatever. And so your position could be, I tell you what, we see the recent history, you haven't. If you're comfortable, it'd be great if you went and deleted some of that stuff just for your own. If you feel it's necessary, you'd like to go get rid of that, and we'll move forward, and we'll keep an eye on your post to make sure. but we appreciate, the change. So again, that could be an outcome. These screens, all screens, are just about creating conversations with people, not about finding some statement or line or singular post to can someone or to get, or to get rid of them. Which is another thing that's pretty interesting, I think, is that how people are sometimes using these social media screens is on people that are already, there's some monitoring you can do. You could actually monitor someone, you'd get a monthly update on someone on if there'd been any additional post. You can actually get that. Or you could run it periodically on someone. And you may hear something, somebody may report something, and this is one way to potentially do a little, dig in a little bit and do an investigation, as long as you have, previous authorization to do screening on the person.